What's up, Ranger Nation? It is your boy JB, and I'm here today with the review for Power Rangers Beast Morphers. This is episode number 6, titled The Blame Game. So, you guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump into this video. Now, before we do get into this video, I do want to ask the question of my Ranger Nation fans. Now, you guys know I do have Battle for the Grid. I think this week when I get paid, I'm going to, renew my subscription with my PlayStation so I can play online. So if you guys have PS4, leave your gamer tags in the comment section below. Also, here's a question that I have for you guys. So with me having this game, what I'm thinking about doing, and you guys can let me know if you would like this, like maybe on Friday or Saturday, we're going to get back into more phenomenal range. So real soon. Just give me some time, you guys. So we're going to get back into that. And also, I do want to know, how do you guys feel if I, record my gameplay, do some commentary on it, and upload it for you guys? Would you guys be interested in that? So let me know that in the comment section as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump into this episode review for episode number 6 of Power Rangers Beast Morphers. Alright, you guys, so this episode, it opens up and we see the Rangers. So they're out playing football. Now, to my recollection, I thought Nate didn't know how to play any kind of sports, but now Nate knows how to throw a football around. I mean, stranger things have happened, so I'm not going to sit here and judge too much. Just a little odd for me. But, so there's this dad and his daughter, and they're out having a picnic, and I was really jealous of them. I'm just like, oh my God. They're able to freely move around in the world, whereas right now, we can't freely move around in the world. But right now in Dallas, we definitely can't move around freely because the weather has changed here in Dallas. It's like really cold in Dallas right about now. But, the little girl, she litters. And the dad tells her, don't throw your stuff on the ground. Pick that up. And while you're doing that, pick up three more pieces of trash and dump it in the trash. So Steele notices that. He's like, wow, that dad is really mean to his daughter. And the others are like, well, no, he's not being mean to her. She littered, and he's trying to discipline her and, show her how to be, how to be a good person and do the right thing. And Steele's like, okay, he understands it. I'm like, oh God, this is gonna be a bad episode for Steele. You guys know I love Steele. Steele's like Steele is my favorite Ranger. But I'm like, this is not gonna be the best episode for Steele. So let's move over to the cyber dimension. So in the cyber dimension, Roxy and Blaze have returned, and they brought Scrozzle a puppet. So then Scrozzle makes the Robotron of the week, and his name is going to be Controllertron. Interesting name for him, Controllertron. Why not Puppetron, something like that? Because he's a puppet, but I mean, I guess because he can control people, but I mean, he's still a puppet. But, whatever. So, now Controllertron, Blaze, and Roxy, they're going to go and try to bring Nate back to Evox so that Evox can start whatever his master plan is. I wonder with this master plan if we're going to get to the beginning phases of this master plan before the hiatus episode. Because the hiatus episode, I think we're 2 weeks away from the hiatus episode, you guys. I'm not, I know on on Adam's channel, A Plus Opinions, the A Games 10, he's showed us he showed that episode 8 and episode 21 are going to be right behind each other, where a lot of people are thinking that maybe episode 8 and 21 are going to be in the same week. I don't know, you guys. I'm not going to speak on that too much because we don't know too much about it, but let's move on, you guys, right? Alright, you guys, so Ben and Betty are in this episode. I know people feel some type of way about Ben and Betty. I do too, but I guess what I will say about Ben and Betty is that there's no fart jokes, number one. So they're completely opposite of Victor and Monty, but I do feel like sometimes that their humor is misplaced, and it's, I don't feel like it necessarily fits in the episode sometimes. I know that they're trying to capture like what they did in the 90s with Bulk and Skull, but the thing about Bulk and Skull was their scenes fit naturally into the episode. every season their scenes fit naturally into the episode. So I just don't understand what's going on with the direction of Ben and Betty. I don't get it. But we see Ben and Betty, they're outside of Grid Battle Force, and they are, you know, vacuuming up the fall leaves, okay? So then, you know, Betty, she decides to put some of the Morph X energy into it instead of gasoline, and that Intel sucks up one of the trees outside of Grid Battle Force. No big, I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna go too deep into it. So then, inside of Grid Battle Force, you know, the Rangers, they're heading back. So they're getting checked in, and there's a guy named Cole who's checking them in. Now, you guys remember, Steel now knows about punishment, so Steel thinks that everybody needs to be punished. And starting with Cole, because there's a young lady who, you know, she was getting checked in, but Cole did not check her lunch pail, so she was in there, and, you know, Cole was like, but she works here and I know her. And, you know, Still like, well, you know, you need to check everyone's package. And he's like, okay. So Steel says, as punishment, you need to go out in front and clean up. I'm like, wow, Steel. You know, Zoe and Devin think that was a little bit harsh. Ravi, on the other hand, Ravi agrees with him. Do I agree with Nate? I mean, Steel? Not really. I mean, it was a lunch bag. You could clearly tell it was a lunch bag. So, what is she? I mean, well, you know what? I'm not even going. You know what? You can't be too sure these days, because people. I mean, even in our real world, people do sneak things in to things that you wouldn't necessarily expect them to sneak stuff into. So, I guess I actually have to agree with Steel. To go back to it, I actually do believe I have to agree with Steel that he should have checked it, because again, you can never be too certain. So, you know, maybe he still wasn't wrong. But he was wrong about some other things, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. But maybe he wasn't necessarily wrong about that. So you guys remember I said he sent Cole outside to clean up the leaves. So Blaze, Roxy, and Controllertron show up. So Controllertron has a little puppet that he's gonna, you know, use on Cole. So Cole sees his puppet, and then he sees the box. So Cole's puppet controls him. So then he takes the box that, you know, Blaze sat down, takes it inside, and delivers it to Nate. Now, when I saw this clip yesterday, because it was released on, you know, the Power Rangers YouTube channel, I got a flashback of the episode Sam on Power Rangers SPD. There's a big difference between, because that puppet, the hand puppet that Controllertron had, it kind of was reminiscent of, you know, Bugglesworth. You know, when he turned his little control device, when he turned people into dolls on SPD's Sam, kind of a. Only difference is, like I said, puppet doll. But it kind of reminded me of Sam from SPD. So yeah, Cole took the package to Nate. Nate opened it, and boom, Nate is controlled by Controllertron. So let's pause here, and we'll keep moving. All right, you guys. So we see the others at the Riptide Gym. We see Steel, Zoe, Ravi, and Devin. They're at the Riptide Gym. No Nate. And they ask where Nate is, and Steel's like, Nate's back at the lab. So, you know, Steel is telling them how, you know, he is helping to better his fellow human. And he tells them everything that he's done. So at Grid Battle Force, there were some people in a cart. They were speeding. He told them to go, did he tell them to go clean a toilet? Yes, he told them to go clean a toilet because they were speeding. There was a girl whose shoestrings were untied. He got on her about her shoestrings being untied. I'm like, now Steel, that's not a big one, her shoestrings being untied. I mean, when you walk, your shoes loosen up, and what happens? Your shoestrings loosen up. So, you know, they're telling Steel, like, Steel, you're overreacting. And then one of the workers at the Riptide Gym comes up, and he's chewing gum. And, you know, Steel is like, are you chewing gum? He's like, yes. That's not a part of the, you know, that's a rule that you shouldn't be chewing gum. Spit it out. I'm like, Steel, you're doing too much. And Steel's about to punish him. And Devin's like, whoa, chill out, Steel. Chill. Cool. You good, bro. You good. So Steel is tripping. Like, Steel is tripping out. So Commander Shaw calls the Rangers. She tells them that there's bodies of a Robotron, and they said oh, go check it out. And they said, what about Nate? She said, well, Nate is not answering his communicator, so no Nate. So then the Rangers, they find the Robotron, and they see Nate morphed. They think that Nate is is helping fight the Robotron, but then they soon realize that Nate is being controlled by the Robotron. So then the Rangers, they morph into battle, and they battle with Nate, who calls on the Tronics. So they're battling both Nate and the Tronics. So, excuse me, y'all. So the Rangers do end up defeating the Tronics, and Nate and Controllatron go back to the Cyber Dimension, where Nate is helping Evox hatch his plan. Now, we still don't know what that plan is, but like I said, I wonder if I feel like we're building up toward that plan, kind of like what happened last season with, the Cybergate opening. I feel like we're building up, and I feel like by the mid-season finale, we will have that plan in action, getting ready to go into the second half of the season. Wow, you guys, the second half of the season. I can't believe we're already in April, and the season is coming to a close pretty soon. Wow, man, I can't believe that. And I just wonder what the fate of our next season is going to be because of the whole situation that's going on in the world right now, which I'm not going to talk about it. But I just wonder what the fate of Ryu Soldier's adaptation is going to be. I know that they're still casting, but when are they going to start filming? And another question is, are we still having Power Morphicon this year? I know Power Morphicon is in September, but the way things are lined up right now, because I know right now here in Dallas, our order is still, it was until April 29th. Now they pushed us out to May 20th. Like, really? We just started April. Are you serious? Let's get back into the show, you guys. I'm just going to keep moving. Alright, you guys. So, at Grid Battle Force, Steel has found Cole because they found out that Cole is the one that brought in the puppet that is controlling Nate. So they take him to Commander Shaw, and they show Commander Shaw the footage of everything. So Commander Shaw asks, Cole to explain himself. Cole says he really can't explain himself because he doesn't remember. Everything is really foggy. It feels like that's an excuse, and you're fired. And Zoe's like, wait, that's a little bit harsh. And no, Commander Shaw's like, no, he's right. I agree with Steel. He did bring that he brought the puppet in, and the package didn't get checked, and he has a history of doing this as well. So unfortunately, I do agree with Steel. And so he's fired. And so, now before the Rangers went in there with Commander Shaw, Ben and Betty came up to Devin and told him that they think that they spotted Nate out back. So Devin is out back. And, after they fired Cole, the alarm sounded, and there's a Gigadrone in the city. So Commander Shaw calls, Devin to let him know. And he tells her, like, hey, there's, somebody thought that they spotted Nate, but nothing. So she says, okay, you just check the area, make sure no sign of Nate, and you're good. So, as Devin is getting ready to walk back, Nate and Controllatron show up, and Nate was getting ready to attack Devin. Now, Devin was saved because Cole was coming by, and Cole warned him that, hey, Nate's right behind you. So, Nate and Devin, they morph and they battle with each other. And while the others, they go into the city in the Zords to, fight the two Gigadrones that Scrozzle them sent. So, now while on the ground, Devin, he did manage to destroy the puppet that was controlling, Nate. So he just, so they defeated, Controltron on the ground. Now up in the city, and up in the air, it's not the skyscrapers version of the others. They're up in this, they're up there fighting, battling the Gigadrones, and one of the Gigadrones manages to control Ravi Zord. So Ravi and Smash have no control of the Zord. So Ravi and Smash Zord, they're attacking Steel. So then Zoe comes up and she blasts, and the Gigadrome that is controlling Ravi and Smash falls, and it lands on the puppy, releasing the control of those two. So then Devin does join them, and they end up defeating the Gigadromes. So let's stop right here. All right, you guys, let's close this episode out. So Nate is back at Grid Battle Force. He's thanking everybody for being patient, and he apologizes. And I'm like, there's no need for you to apologize. You were under the control of Evox and his people. So he also says that he has no memory and that things were very fuzzy, and that rings a bell in Steel's brain. Well, Steel doesn't have a brain. That rings a bell in Steel's memory, and Steel's like, wait a minute, that's the same thing that Cole said. And he's like, oh no, I think I may have made a mistake. So then we see Ben and Betty outside. So they have a seed that they're planting in the ground, and they put some Morphex energy on it, one drop. So they put one drop on it, but then they end up knocking over the whole Morphex on it. So the tree grows exponentially tall. And then Cole returns, and Commander Shaw tells Cole that he has his job back. Steel does apologize to Cole because he overreacted about the first situation with the girl and her lunch bag not being checked in. Like I said a few minutes ago, like I said earlier, I don't necessarily think that, Steel did overreact for sure. Yes, he did. But if you think about it, it wasn't really that bad, because you would, if you guys are in like a government office, you definitely want to check it. But he apologized about everything, and that was basically it for the episode. I like, again, you guys, I do like Ben and Betty. They're a lot better than Victor and Monty ever were, but I think that the usage of those two sometimes is not timed correctly, and that's just my personal opinion, guys. But that was the episode. So like this, be sure to let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Be sure to like this video, leave your comments, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell notification button so you guys know when I drop anything else. And until the next one, Ranger Nation, I will see you guys later.